Okay, welcome everybody. So far in this module, we've been working with indexing and slicing data frames. Data frames are two-dimensional data structures. We can also extract parts of a vector. Vectors are one-dimensional data structures where we can store a single data type. So if we're going to extract parts of a vector, we do it very, very similarly. We're going to kind of enter our indices inside of square brackets. However, with a vector, we only have one dimension. We just have a positional index inside the square bracket. So we don't have a row, comma, column index. We just have one positional index that we're going to need to indicate. Otherwise, things work very, very similarly. We can extract a continuous range of elements using the colon syntax. We can extract a non-contiguous list of elements using the C function to list off which things we want to extract. So let's take a look at question 2 to kind of illustrate how this works. So let's consider a vector A that we create with this code cell. A was created by this the sequence function. It's going to start at 2, go up to 16 by increments of 2. So this creates a vector 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. So this is a one-dimensional vector. So if I want to, and when we're indexing from vectors, just like data frames or matrices or any other data structure in R, we always begin our indexing in R from 1. Okay, so for you Python users, you're going to have to get used to adjusting that. In Python, you might be used to starting your indexing from 0. In R, you're going to have to adjust that to indexing from 1. If you're totally new to indexing, then that's great because it's probably much more natural to count starting from 1. Okay, so we're going to index starting from 1. I think that makes more sense anyway. And so if we want to extract the second, the fourth, and the sixth elements of a vector, which is what question 2a is asking us to do, our vector is called A. I have square brackets, and I'm just going to enter the elements that I want to extract from it. But if I just do like 2, 4, and 6, let me just put that, I'm going to get an error because this is thinking that I have like some sort of three-dimensional object, right? It's thinking like row, column, something else. Like it's thinking about this like a matrix in some sense. So that doesn't make sense in R. If I want to indicate that I want to keep element 2, 4, and 6, then I need to enter those as a vector of positional indices. So that's why I'm going to enter them inside of a vector, and I'm going to use the C function to create that vector. And there I've got element 2 was the number 4, the sixth element was the number 8, and the sixth element was the number 12. Perfect. So that pulled off 4, 8, and 12 exactly like I wanted it to do. 2b is asking me to extract everything in A except for 2, 4, and 6. Well, that's great. I can just take all of A. Instead of keeping 2, 4, and 6, I can just use the minus syntax here. And by putting a minus sign in front of that vector, that's going to mean keep everything except for 2, 4, and 6. So that's everything except for these three elements from vector A. This keeps everything except for those. Excellent. Okay, and then in part 2C, it's saying keep everything except for elements 3 through 6. So I can do something very similar here. And if I want to exclude a continuous range of elements, then I use the colon syntax. So I want to exclude everything from 3 through 6. And there we go. So 3 through 6 would be, here's element 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that means I would just want to keep 2, 4, 14, and 16, 2, 4, 14, 16. Perfect. Everything worked out just great. Okay, so that's a wrap on indexing and slicing elements from vectors. Now we are ready to move on in the next video to work with importing external data. We're going to work with much larger data frame now and talk about working with logicals and doing some more complicated indexing based on conditionals. So stay tuned. We got some good stuff coming at you.